Hi everyone, Abby here, and welcome back to my channel for Tech Tuesday, or welcome if you're new. Now today, as requested by many of you, I'm going to be comparing the Garmin Vivomove Trend to the Garmin Vivomove Sport. And you guys are constantly asking me, what are the differences between these two watches? Which one should I get? Which one do you prefer? So I'm going to go into that today. But before I get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned to all my new videos dropping weekly and so you can help the channel grow. And before I go into the similarities and differences, I want to let you guys know I have done full reviews on both of these smartwatches. So if you're looking for something more in depth, you want to learn a bit more about them, you can check out my full review on both of these smartwatches linked in the description below when you're done watching this. So before I dive into the differences, here are the spec similarities between both of these smartwatches. They have the exact same battery life, up to 5 days. They are both touchscreen operated with no buttons. They both have the same heart rate sensor. They have connected GPS. They're both hybrid smartwatches with a hidden digital watch face and analog watch hands. They both have women's health monitoring. They track your steps, your activities, and I've gone and listed a bunch more on screen for you. Now, the first difference between both of these smartwatches is the price. Now, the Garmin Vivomove Sport currently comes in at $239.99 Canadian and $179.99 American, while the Garmin Vivomove Trend comes at $369.99 Canadian and $299.99 American. Both these smartwatches have been out for over a year. They both do go on sale quite often now in 2024, which is great. You can decide if you think that the Trend is worth it for you to spend the extra money or not. So another difference between both these smartwatches would be the display. Now, both of these smartwatches, as I mentioned, have a hidden digital display. They're both hybrid smartwatches that look like a traditional, watch timepiece. But when you tap the display, it pulls up a digital display where you can view different metrics, data, track your workouts, and more. So the Vivomove Sport has an OLED display, while the Vivomove Trend has a liquid crystal display. So both of these do look different on these smartwatches, as you guys could see on screen. Now, I do find that both of them get pretty bright. Both of them are pretty easily readable indoors. When it comes to outdoor uses, I actually do find the Vivomove Sport a little bit easier to read with that OLED display versus the LCD display. You guys will see what they look like outdoors versus indoors, but both of them you're going to see a good amount of glare because of the type of, the nature of the background. You can see they're kind of like this mirrored metal background, so it can be a little bit hard to read in bright lighting conditions outdoors. Another thing about the display is that the display on the Vivomove Trend is larger. You can see some data at the top of the watch face, some at the bottom as well, whereas the Vivomove Sport, you're just seeing data at the bottom of the display here. So that could be a big difference for some of you out there. If you want to have a bit more real estate on your smartwatch, you want to be able to see a bit more there. But I will say when I'm actually using the smartwatches, I really don't find a huge difference here. I mean, everything that they're showing on kind of the top and bottom of the Trend can be summarized into a smaller form factor on the Sport. It's always nice having a larger display, but there's not a huge difference in my experience when I'm using both of them individually. And if you guys are finding this video helpful so far, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. All right, guys, another difference between both these smartwatches is the design. Now, the Vivomove Sport, definitely more sporty, definitely a little bit more low-key. It has a bezel-less design as well, and it's a little bit lighter, actually coming at 34 grams. Now, the Trend comes in a bit heavier at 43 grams. It has a stainless steel bezel on there. The actual kind of background of the display there is a bit shinier, it looks a bit fancier, more trendy, if you will. It just looks a little bit more, premium, and they both come in different color options as well. When it comes to the size of them, they both have the exact same size watch bands, 20mm. All right, guys, another difference between these, an important one for me, is the sensors that these smartwatches have. The Vivomove Trend does have more sensors than the Vivomove Sport, and that's one reason that we are seeing a price increase here between them. The Vivomove Trend has a barometric altimeter. With that, you can get your floors climbed, tracking your altitude and your elevation when you're outdoors, doing your activities. It also has wireless charging ability and Garmin Pay built in. Now the wireless charging, it doesn't come with the wireless charger out of the box, so you have to get one that is compatible with it. It also has, like a clip charging capability, where the Vivomove Sport just has the plug-in charging. And when it comes to Garmin Pay, that's something that I know a lot of people out there really like. How useful it is very dependent on where you live. For me in Canada, there's basically no providers here, so I can't use Garmin Pay. But if you live in the United States, for example, there's hundreds of providers, so you most likely can use Garmin Pay, which is basically contactless payments on the go. You can add your payment providers on the smartwatch and just use it, that way, like tap to pay. So that could be helpful for you depending on where you live. I also know in the UK, pretty much doesn't work there either. There's hardly any providers, as of right now. And I'll have the list of all of the Garmin Pay providers in the description below if you want to check out and see which ones are in your area and if it's compatible or not. Now, those are the main differences for the sensors there. When it comes to other things, they both track SpO2, your blood oxygen saturation. They both track your sleep, the exact same exercises. So you're not really getting a difference there. And with that same heart rate sensor and stuff, you're getting basically identical data, or it might differ between 5% or less.
And if you guys are looking to pick up either of these smartwatches today, I've gone ahead and left some links down in the description for you to use.
Now when it comes to me and which one I prefer, I would go with the Garmin Vivomove Sport.
Now, I actually prefer the look of this smartwatch. I like that the display is a little bit easier for me to read outdoors. I like that it has Garmin's traditional charging port to plug in, and I'm not a wireless charger type of person. I prefer to charge myself by plugging it in because it's faster. I also like that the Vivomove Sport here does come in at a lower price point. I personally don't find I'm missing out on having a smaller display here compared to the Trend myself. That being said, I do think that the Trend is an excellent smartwatch option. If you're someone who you're going to take advantage of Garmin Pay, you want wireless charging, you want to track forest climb, stuff like that, I think it's a great option for you as well.
So that's just my opinion here. Let me know which one you guys would prefer down in the comments below. And that's all I have for today. If there's anything I missed that you want to know, go ahead and drop a comment below. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.